It's that time of month again. Horimiya is here. Chapters 41 and 42 has just came out, and all the romance feels are just so freaking grand in this series. It really, really is. So, we have two chapters. As promised by the mangaka last month, we have our two chapters that have been translated. I'm really happy the translators that's currently translating the series really keeps it up to date. Since this is technically not a popular manga, I'm glad it gets translated so fast. Now, anyways, these chapters. I want to talk about chapters 41 first before I get into 42. So, chapter 41 focuses on Hori, Miyamura, and Kyosuke, Hori's father, watching a scary movie, or multiple scary movies, pretty much. And it's the same concept we have seen already from Horimiya, but it was just really funny the different type of references they made in that chapter. For instance, you have Hori bring up, like, different romance series she watches. Like, she watches romance, live action movies and stuff, but she's watched, like, Grudge, or she's watched The Ring. That's what she brought up for romance. And I'm like, who the hell watches Ring or Grudge for romance? So clearly, Hori just admitted that she doesn't watch any romance whatsoever. She only watches horror that scares the shit out of Miyamura, and it also scares, Hori's father, Kyosuke. So right now, this first chapter, chapter 41, that was just fucking hilarious. It was just so funny when you saw the different references. The artwork of this chapter, actually, I do want to bring that up. The artwork of chapter 41 and chapter 42 looked phenomenal. It looked really fucking good. And I mean, for two chapters to be made in a month, I mean, this is a monthly series. So, I mean, for two chapters to be made, and the way it looks, the artwork looks freaking amazing. It really does. So I will compliment the artwork. It definitely has a lot of good, potential for some good fan art if anyone wants to color that. So anyways, back on topic, the first chapter though, like I said, for the most part, you get to see Hori pass out in Miyamura's freaking lap, and I'm like, oh, yeah, come on, don't miss your chance. She passes out, and all of a sudden, mid-conversation with Kyosuke and, Miyamura, Hori wakes up, slams him into the fucking head with the back of her head, and, like, busts open his nose, and you start seeing him bleed all over the place. I was like, oh, dude, that's pretty fucking brutal. I mean, oh my god. So, I was shocked the way that chapter turned out. Now, the next chapter, chapter 42, that right there actually showed some form of character development and connection between Hori and Miyamura in the series. It shows you what the relationship is like. For instance, we get some hints that, Hori checks Miyamura's phone all the time. Checks it all the time. And then when you had this person call Miyamura, Hori got scared, thought it was another girl, and it's like, who is this, and all that, and then eventually the argument led into a slap. Now, as we saw, I think chapter 37, or multiple chapters back, we saw Hori and Miyamura have suggested sexual intercourse multiple chapters back. And so, of course, the relationship has taken, deeper meaning. The relationship is stronger now, and so, of course, Hori has a right to act like that, but, I mean, it just shows you the different ways the relationship has progressed since the very beginning of this series. Now, one thing, though, I really, 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 really respect this chapter for one thing. It's not something a lot of mangaka or writers of a shoujo manga or anything like this would possibly do. Seeing how Miyamura did not apologize. He did not apologize to Hori about the entire argument about, how she misunderstood about the friend. For instance, like, how he had his guy friend call him, and Hori misunderstood and thought it was a girl, and she in turn slapped him and scratched him. I mean, you had Miyamura not apologize to that, because usually if we watch, like, a harem-type anime or read a manga, we will see the main male character that was innocent and not in the wrong have to apologize, but he didn't apologize. Hori actually had to go out of her way to apologize in this chapter, and it got settled in one chapter. Right there, phenomenal, fuck yes! Oh my god, that easily could have been spanned out like 3 to 4 chapters if, the mangaka really wanted to. So, I clap for the writer right now, not dragging out that drama. But at the exact same time, it was handled in a mature way that should have been handled. And honestly, hopefully a lot more anime and manga actually take this example. Because you had Hori have to go out of her way to apologize for slapping Miyamura. just because it was a misunderstanding. I'm so glad. I don't know if you understand why this is just so amazing. It's just because I'm tired of male characters constantly having to apologize when they're not in the fucking wrong. And just seeing that, it just shows maturity to the characters. It really, really does. So, besides that, that's the main development we got these 2 chapters. But, I mean, honestly, the development was good, and I enjoyed the fucking read. It was definitely funny, as always, of Horimiya. I mean, like I said, the first chapter, chapter 41, is pretty much comedy-based. Second chapter, even though it looks like it's a lighthearted comedy tone, it actually has some serious elements in it if you look deep enough. And it really shows you the characterization of our characters, shows you their personalities more in depth with the relationships. And so I felt like this was a very, very good 2 chapters of Horimiya. So, tell me your thoughts. I mean, how did you feel about these 2 chapters, Chibits? I mean, did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite parts about these chapters? Which chapter was your favorite, chapter 41 or 42? And what do you feel about the romance development between Miyamura and Hori? Now, one thing though, I will say, maybe Miyamura could convince Hori to watch an actual romance one day, because from this chapter, Hori doesn't watch romance. So, hopefully one day down the road of this manga, we will see Hori have to watch a romance live-action movie with Miyamura, which would be really freaking cool, and it'll be interesting to see her reaction. Most likely she'll fall asleep, because it would bore her half to death, since she needs to have that action and gore and violence. So, knowing how her personality is, she most likely will fall asleep if it's a regular romance movie. And Miyamura will be like, all giddy and all that. So anyways, tell me your thoughts. Love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live, and I cannot wait for next month of more Horimiya. And if you've yet to read it, go fucking read it. It's a really, really good month of Horimiya. So be safe. Chibi out.